just ordinary chickens, but creatures straight out of a fantasy story. Feathers as black as night, tails trailing over 10 meters, impossible blue eggs, and gazes so intense they seem from another time. On this journey, you'll discover the 15 most exotic, rare, and beautiful chickens in the world. Get ready, because what you're about to see isn't just nature. It's living art, history, and mystery. 1. Ayam Cemani, Indonesia. In the vast diversity of the animal world, few creatures spark as much mystery as the Ayam Cemani, native to Indonesia. At first glance, it seems to have emerged from a dark fairy tale or an ancient myth. Absolutely everything about it is black. Its plumage has a metallic sheen reminiscent of obsidian. Its skin is black, its tongue is black, even its meat, bones, and internal organs are stained with that same deep hue. This rarity is due to a genetic phenomenon known as fibromelanosis, a mutation that multiplies the amount of pigment throughout the body. The fascinating thing is that it doesn't harm the chicken at all. On the contrary, it makes it a unique symbol, so strange that in many places, it's considered an almost magical animal. In Javanese tradition, the Ayam Cemani was not just a chicken. It was a living amulet. It was believed to bring fortune, prosperity, and protection against evil spirits. For centuries, these birds were offered to kings and nobles as a sign of power and prestige. Today, the Ayam Cemani is one of the most exclusive and expensive chicken breeds on the planet. A single specimen can reach exorbitant prices on the international market, not for its egg production or meat, but for the fascination its supernatural appearance inspires. Watching an Ayam Cemani walk through the coop is like observing a shadow with wings. Each feather shines with green and purple reflections in the sun, as if it were made of burnished metal. Its mere presence seems to defy the laws of the ordinary. The Ayam Cemani isn't just a chicken. It's a living mystery that connects the biological with the mythical, and in the realm of exotic birds, none is quite like it. 2. Silky, China. If there's one chicken that can break all the rules, it's the Silky, native to China. At first glance, it looks like anything but a farm bird. Its plumage isn't made of rigid feathers like other chickens, but of soft, fluffy fibers that resemble Angora rabbit fur or a living ball of cotton. This unusual appearance makes it a visual spectacle, but the most surprising thing comes when you get a little closer. The Silky isn't just different on the outside. Under that silky coat, it hides dark blue, almost black skin, which gives it an even stranger and more fascinating air. And the surprises don't stop there. While most chickens have 4 toes, the Silky boasts 5 on each foot, an uncommon genetic trait that further increases its rarity. It's as if nature decided to play with it, granting it characteristics that break all the rules of the henhouse. However, what wins over those who know it best is not its appearance, but its temperament. The Silky is docile, calm, and surprisingly affectionate. So much so that many call it the cat of the coop. It's not uncommon to see it following people, allowing itself to be petted, and even enjoying human contact as if it were a domestic pet. In ancient China, this chicken held a special place in traditional medicine. Its meat, also dark, was considered nutritious and even healing, forming part of special broths and recipes prepared to regain strength or improve health. Today, the Silky is one of the most beloved ornamental chickens in the world. Its cute and extravagant appearance, along with its friendly nature, has made it a star of poultry shows and an inseparable companion in many homes. 3. Polish, Poland. Among all the ornamental chickens on the planet, few are as striking as the Polish, Poland's feathered jewel. Just one look is enough to never forget it. Instead of a common comb, this chicken sports a genuine plume of feathers that covers its head like a Baroque wig. Its silhouette is reminiscent of a 17th century nobleman, with an elegant but disheveled hairstyle, as if it just stepped out of an old painting. That extravagant topknot isn't just an aesthetic adornment. It's actually made of modified feathers that have been selected for centuries by European breeders fascinated with its theatrical look. The curious thing is that, by growing in all directions, this plumage sometimes partially blocks its sight, which can make the chicken move with a certain clumsiness or have unexpected scares. Despite this, the Polish is calm, docile, and surprisingly sociable. It is common to see it at poultry shows, where its unmistakable hairstyle steals all the attention. In fact, in many competitions, the size or egg production doesn't matter as much as the volume and shape of that extravagant plume that has made it famous worldwide. There are varieties in different colors: snow white, black with metallic reflections, mottled gold, and even silver. Each one seems designed for a different stage, as if they were characters from a living theater. Historically, the Polish was so appreciated that it spread rapidly throughout Europe, even being portrayed in old paintings, where it appeared as a symbol of distinction and refinement. Today, this chicken continues to surprise anyone who sees it. Its presence does not go unnoticed. A bird that seems to be wearing an impossible hairstyle, half aristocrat, half court jester. The Polish is, without a doubt, a demonstration that in nature there is also room for humor and extravagance. 4. Onagadori, Japan. In the world of birds, no chicken impresses as much as the Onagadori of Japan. This creature seems to defy the rules of nature with one detail that makes it a legend. Its tail never stops growing. While other chickens molt their feathers from time to time, the Onagadori retains its throughout its life, allowing it to reach lengths that seem impossible. There have been specimens with tails exceeding 10 meters, trailing a majestic veil that waves like a living banner. It's no wonder that Japan has declared it a national living treasure, because this is not a simple chicken, but a true work of biological art. Bred with extreme care for over 3 centuries, the Onagadori was a symbol of prestige among feudal lords, and is still kept today in coops specially designed to protect its tails, preventing them from getting dirty or damaged. Its maintenance is a true ritual. Breeders build elevated perches and even special structures so that the tails can hang freely without touching the ground. The process requires patience, dedication, and an almost ceremonial respect for the bird. And the thing is, raising an Onagadori isn't just having a chicken. It's guarding a tradition that connects the present with the history of ancient Japan. Watching it walk is a hypnotic spectacle. Its small body contrasts with the endless cascade of feathers it trails behind. Each movement is reminiscent of the costumes of kabuki actors, full of drama and elegance. The Onagadori doesn't produce large quantities of eggs or stand out for its meat. Its value is in the symbolic, the visual, what it represents. The union between the hand of man and the wonder of nature. A chicken that seems to be from another world, but exists, alive and proud, as Japan's most exotic jewel. 5. Dong Tao, Vietnam. In the villages of Vietnam, there's a chicken that looks like it's from an Eastern fable. The Dong Tao, known as the dragon-legged chicken. You only have to look at it to understand why. Its legs are so thick, rough, and scaly that they look like they're carved from stone. Some specimens develop limbs as thick as a human wrist, which gives it an almost monstrous appearance, as if it had inherited the strength of a mythological creature. But under that strange appearance hides a highly coveted treasure. The meat of the Dong Tao is considered an elite delicacy, reserved for centuries for emperors and high-ranking officials of the Vietnamese court. Its firm texture and intense flavor have made it a luxury dish, to the point that today it can fetch astronomical prices in exclusive restaurants. Raising these birds, however, is not an easy task. Their legs, so heavy and disproportionate, make them less agile than other breeds, so they require special care and adequate space to move without getting hurt. Furthermore, their growth is slower, which further increases their rarity and value on the market. The Dong Tao is not just a gastronomic symbol, it is also a cultural emblem. In many Vietnamese villages, it is bred as a point of local pride, a living legacy that connects new generations with centuries-old traditions. And while its fame now extends beyond Asia, it is still in its homeland that it is most revered. Gazing at a Dong Tao is like seeing a hybrid animal, half chicken and half dragon. A strange and powerful creature that reminds us how nature, guided by the human hand, can give shape to beings as unusual as they are fascinating. 6. Sultan, Turkey. In the heart of the ancient Ottoman Empire, a chicken was born that wasn't bred to lay eggs or feed a family, but to beautify the palace gardens. Its name says it all. The Sultan, an ornamental bird that looks permanently dressed for a gala. Its snow-white plumage conveys purity and majesty. At first glance, it shines as if it were wearing an embroidered silk suit. But what really distinguishes it are its unique details. A plume of feathers on its head that resembles a crown, an elegant beard under its beak, and, like the Silky, 5 toes on each foot, when most chickens have only 4. Every feature seems carefully designed to show distinction. In the gardens of Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, the presence of these birds was part of the visual spectacle. They strolled among fountains, mosaics, and lush trees like living jewels, symbols of luxury and refinement. They were companion birds for the nobility, treated almost as exotic treasures, a reflection of the sophistication of the Ottoman court. Beyond its elegance, the Sultan is a docile, calm, and easy-to-handle chicken. Because of this, even today, it remains a favorite at poultry shows. Its ethereal appearance makes it an inevitable star in any bird beauty contest. Although it is not a big egg producer, and certainly not a prominent source of meat, the Sultan has shown that the value of an animal is not always in its practical utility, but in the emotion it inspires. Its mere presence transforms a simple coop into a palatial stage. The Sultan is, in short, proof that nature also knows how to dress up, and that some chickens were created not for the farm, but for royalty. 7. Sebright, England. In the world of ornamental chickens, there is a breed that looks like a precious miniature, designed with a brush and infinite patience. The Sebright, native to England. This little jewel of the coop belongs to the group of bantam chickens, but its small size does not prevent it from standing out as one of the most spectacular birds ever created. What makes it unique is the stunning pattern of its plumage. Each feather has a perfectly outlined black border, as if it had been hand-stitched by an artisan. The contrast between the bright colors, whether gold or silver, and that dark edge creates a hypnotic visual effect, almost like a living mosaic. It is no exaggeration to say that the Sebright looks more like a work of jewelry than an animal. The history of this chicken is also fascinating. It was developed in the early 19th century by Sir John Sebright, a British aristocrat obsessed with selective breeding. His goal was not to get more eggs or meat, but to perfect beauty. After years of meticulous crosses, this tiny and dazzling breed was born, which quickly became a symbol of status in English poultry shows. Interestingly, the Sebright is one of the few chicken breeds where both the male and female share the exact same type of plumage. In most birds, roosters are flashier than hens, but in this breed, aesthetic equality is absolute. Both sexes are equally spectacular, which increases its appeal. It is not a great layer or a productive breed, but no one raises it for that reason. The Sebright exists to dazzle, to fill any space it walks in with color and delicacy. Its mere presence reminds us that animal breeding can also be an art, and that even a chicken can become an aesthetic treasure. 8. Frizzle, Asia/Europe. Among all the curious chickens on the planet, the Frizzle seems to have been struck by lightning. Its plumage, instead of lying flat like in most birds, curls outwards and upwards, giving it the appearance of being constantly electrified. It's as if nature decided to give it an impossible hairstyle, a wild mane that makes it the immediate star of any co-op. This peculiar trait is due to a dominant gene that alters the structure of the feathers, causing them to curl in the opposite direction of the usual. The result is a bird that looks like it just came out of a storm, with an erect body and an appearance as extravagant as it is charming. There are specimens in a wide variety of colors: white, gold, silver, and even mottled, each with its own electric effect. The Frizzle has been bred for centuries in various regions of Asia and Europe, and soon became a special attraction at poultry shows. There, its plumage is the center of all eyes. However, this same feature that makes it so striking also makes it more delicate. Since its feathers are not as close to the body, they do not protect as well from the cold or rain, so it requires more care than a common chicken. The interesting thing is that, despite its eccentric appearance, the Frizzle has a calm and docile character. It's not uncommon for it to become a favorite of breeders looking for ornamental birds that combine rarity and charm. Watching a Frizzle walk is like seeing a small animated cloud, a being that seems to defy the laws of gravity with every feather. It is another example that even in the most common corners of nature, creatures can appear that seem to be created to surprise us and make us smile. 9. Araucana, Chile. In the south of Chile, among landscapes of volcanoes and mountain ranges, lives a chicken that has earned a place in history for an amazing detail: the Araucana, famous worldwide for laying eggs of an intense blue-green color. These eggs look like small jade gems, so different from the usual white and brown that for centuries they were considered a true treasure. The origin of this singular trait is genetic. The Araucana carries a gene that deposits biliverdin, a natural pigment, in the eggshell. The most curious thing is that this color is not just on the surface. It goes through the entire shell, so that even the inside retains that characteristic bluish tone. This phenomenon does not occur in any other South American chicken breed, which makes the Araucana a unique bird on its continent. But its oddities do not end there. The Araucana lacks a tail, a characteristic that gives it a compact and somewhat strange appearance when compared to other breeds. Additionally, on the sides of its head, it sports tufts of feathers that look like mustaches or sideburns, as if it were wearing an indigenous headdress. This detail connects directly with its history, as the breed is associated with the native Mapuche people, who were already raising it long before the arrival of Europeans. The Araucana is much more than a laying hen. It is a living piece of Chilean history and culture, a bird that carries in its feathers and in its eggs the very color of the extraordinary. 10. Brahma, India, China. In the universe of chickens, the Brahma stands as a true serene giant. Originating from crosses made in India and China, this bird is so imposing that when you see it up close, it looks more like a fantasy bird than a simple inhabitant of the coop. Some specimens reach more than 11 pounds in weight and a height of nearly 2 feet, making it one of the largest chicken breeds in the world. Its bearing inspires respect. The body is wide, the chest is prominent, and the legs are covered in feathers, as if it were wearing padded pants. It walks calmly and elegantly, conveying the feeling that nothing can disturb it. For this reason, many describe it as the Queen of the Coop, a title that seems to be made to its measure. The Brahma's plumage is another of its charms. It can come in light, dark, or buff tones, always with a pattern that highlights its majestic volume. When it moves in the sun, it seems to be wearing a royal cape that envelops it in solemnity. During the 19th century, the Brahma was introduced to Europe and the United States, where it became a sensation. Not only for its extraordinary size, but also because it was seen as a symbol of prestige. Breeders and collectors competed to have the most spectacular specimens, and it soon became an icon of poultry shows. Although it is capable of producing large and good quality eggs, its true value is not in its utility, but in the impression it makes. Living with a Brahma means having an imposing animal in the yard, but at the same time, it is docile and peaceful, living in harmony with other birds. 11. La Fleche, France. In the heart of France, in the Loire region, there is a chicken that seems to have come from a medieval bestiary, the La Fleche. Its name means the arrow, but its appearance has given it a much more unsettling nickname, the devil-horned chicken. What makes it so unmistakable is its comb. Instead of the typical jagged shape of other breeds, its comb is divided into 2 sharp points that emerge upwards like genuine black horns. This strange crown, added to its dark and silky shiny plumage, gives it an almost demonic air, as if it were a bird destined to star in ancient legends and rituals. La Fleche is a very old breed, with origins dating back at least to the 15th century. In those days, when superstition was part of daily life, it is not difficult to imagine that an animal with such an appearance would inspire both fear and fascination. Some considered it a symbol of power, others an unsettling omen, and there were those who saw it as a witchcraft animal. But behind its enigmatic appearance hides a chicken of great quality. La Fleche is prized for its tender and tasty meat, so highly valued that for centuries it was served at aristocratic French banquets. However, raising it requires patience. It is an active, somewhat nervous bird that loves open spaces, so it does not adapt well to small coops. Today, this breed is a rarity that survives thanks to passionate breeders who seek to preserve its lineage. Seeing it at an exhibition is like contemplating a living fragment of the Middle Ages, an echo of times when animals were mixed with myths and hidden symbols. 12. Yokohama, Japan, Germany. Among the most spectacular ornamental birds on the planet, the Yokohama stands out. A chicken with a small body, but a tail so long and majestic that it seems designed to strut down a runway. Its stylized figure and impeccable plumage have made it one of the undisputed stars of poultry shows. The Yokohama has a curious origin. Although it has a Japanese name, it was actually developed in Germany during the 19th century. It all started when long-tailed chickens were imported from Japan, inspired by the mythical Onagadori. European breeders, fascinated by their elegance, began to perfect them, and thus a breed was born that was adapted to Western taste but full of Eastern exoticism. Its tail can easily exceed 6 feet in length in well-cared-for specimens. These long, silky feathers cascade down as if they were a formal gown. Each movement is slow and ceremonious, as if the bird knows all eyes are on it. The most striking thing is the contrast between its small body and the immensity of its tail. This disproportion gives it a theatrical, almost unreal air that fascinates both breeders and spectators. It does not produce many eggs or stand out for its meat, but that was never its purpose. The Yokohama was created to be admired, a perfect example of how selective breeding can transform a common animal into a living spectacle. At exhibitions, the Yokohama always steals the show. Its elegant bearing, its white plumage with reddish reflections, and that endless tail make it look more like a porcelain figurine than a real being. Even when walking, it conveys the feeling of participating in a carefully choreographed parade. The Yokohama is, in essence, a work of art with feathers, a bird that is not measured in productivity, but in beauty, and that reminds us how far human passion for animal aesthetics can go. 13. Phoenix, Japan, Germany. In the world of ornamental birds, there is a chicken that bears a legendary name, the phoenix, a direct descendant of the mythical Japanese Onagadori. From the first glance, it's easy to understand why it received that name. Its elongated silhouette, its haughty bearing, and, above all, its tail of endless feathers evoke the mythological creature that was reborn from its own ashes. Unlike the Onagadori, whose feathers can reach impossible lengths of over 10 meters, the phoenix was bred in Germany to maintain that same elegance, but in a more practical and manageable way. Its tails, while long and spectacular, do not require such extreme care. This made it a more accessible breed, which quickly became popular in shows and competitions around the world. The phoenix can sport a variety of colors, although combinations of white and gold, or white and red, are the most admired. In the sunlight, its feathers seem to shine like liquid fire, reinforcing the connection with the myth of the immortal bird. The most fascinating thing is its way of moving, upright, light, and majestic, as if it knows that every eye is on it. Its small body contrasts with the long tail it trails behind, creating a visual effect that captivates anyone who observes it. Contemplating a phoenix is like witnessing a spectacle of nature refined by human art. It is not a simple chicken, but a creature that seems to be reborn in each generation, reminding us that beauty can also be immortal. 14. Pavlovskaya, Russia. On the cold plains of Russia, an almost forgotten winged jewel survives. The Pavlovskaya, one of the country's oldest chicken breeds, and, according to some experts, one of the oldest in the world. Its origin dates back to the 18th century in the village of Pavlovo, from which it takes its name, and since then, it has become a symbol of local pride. What distinguishes it at first glance is its plumage. Each feather is mottled with a golden or silver sheen that is reminiscent of a goldsmith's work. When it moves in the light, the Pavlovskaya seems to be wearing a suit of liquid gold, a visual spectacle that earned it fame among nobles and peasants alike. Added to this is a fluffy topknot on its head, which gives it a playful and elegant air, almost like a period hat. But its history has not been easy. After the Russian Revolution and the social changes of the 20th century, the Pavlovskaya fell into oblivion. The breed was on the verge of extinction, reduced to a few scattered specimens on farms and in breeding facilities. For decades, it was thought to have been lost forever, until in the 90s, a group of passionate breeders undertook the mission to rescue it. Thanks to them, the Pavlovskaya was reborn, like a treasure rescued from the ashes of history. Today, it is still a rarity, but also a symbol of resilience. It is appreciated not only for its beauty, but also for its ability to withstand harsh winters thanks to its hardiness. Raising a Pavlovskaya is like having a living piece of Russian tradition, a direct connection to a past in which birds were not just farm animals, but cultural emblems. 15. Malay, India, South Asia. Among all the chicken breeds that exist in the world, there is one that commands immediate respect. The Malay, native to South Asia, and considered the tallest chicken on the planet. It can reach up to 3 feet in height, which makes it look like an enormous bird compared to its more common relatives. Its posture is upright, muscular, with a long, strong neck reminiscent of prehistoric birds. Many breeders describe it as the chicken with a velociraptor's gaze, and you only have to observe its intense eyes and sharp profile to understand why. It's like contemplating a living remnant of a remote time, a creature that seems to have come directly from the age of dinosaurs. The Malay is not only tall, it is also robust and powerful. Its body is covered with firm muscles, and its slow but sure gait conveys authority in the coop. For centuries, it was bred in India and other regions of South Asia, not so much for its productivity, but for its impressive appearance and strong temperament. In some places, it was even used in exhibition fighting, although what really distinguished it was its physical uniqueness. The curious thing is that, despite its intimidating appearance, the Malay can be relatively calm if raised in the right conditions. However, it always retains that vigilant and dominant air that intimidates any intruder. The Malay is, in short, the giant queen of the avian world, a living reminder that evolution still holds secrets capable of astonishing us. An animal that not only fills the coop, but also the imagination of those who see it.